Hi everyone, Namaste from India. I'm very happy to be here again with you, and today I'll be answering some questions that have been coming into my channel, and I'm super excited to have a conversation. My intention is always to keep this a relationship. This is not me giving a lecture or not at all. I'm learning from you, and each one of your questions is a way for me to learn and also to think and go deeper. And yoga is always about going deeper. So, what is the difference between yoga and sports? And I think that's a very good question and something that we have all some way or another being connected to sports. I remember when I was in high school, I hated sports, and precisely when I went into the university and I chose yoga because yoga was the less strenuous one. It's so funny. And then as I went into my life, I started moving more, and then I was going to the gym every day and lifting weights, doing aerobics and spinning, and all these disciplines that were really, really intense. And you sweat a lot, and you feel a lot of energy, and then you keep going into that. And I was super hyper, and on top all these sports were making me more hyper. So I would get home and the kids will say something, "Mommy," and I was like, shut up, like, because I had too much. It's called rajas. Rajas is that energy that is fiery, that is too intense, and sometimes burns other people. So when I started doing my yoga practice, in the beginning I thought it was kind of boring because I was used to all these rapid movements, and I was very muscular, and I had a lot of muscle mass. And with yoga, my muscle mass has diminished quite a lot because for the practice our body is not going to be full of muscles. The body of a yogi is more like the body of a cat, and the cat is very relaxed, and then all of a sudden the cat jumps and just moves very swiftly and in a very agile way. That's what a yogi is like. So we are not trying to bulk up at all. I think that's one of the differences. Also, we take care of our eating habits very carefully because anything we eat impacts our practice next morning, especially with Ashtangis. We eat a lot of berries and we eat a lot of nuts. That's basic. Greens. We also have here in India I can have milk, which is wonderful, and ghee, because it really suits me. We also have fruits, and we have, for me in my case, I like food that is oily and that is warm. It really helps me calm down my anxiety. That's part of my vata, my air. And my practice also, I do it in such a way that it's not super intense. I used to do it very fast in the past, but right now I just take my time and I do the breathing, deep breath, and I really I enjoy and I relish in the breath. Yoga is breathing. That's why everyone can practice yoga. Yoga is the awareness of the present moment through the breath. And actually, Ashtanga is a breathing practice. And yeah, we tend to identify with the asana, but even if the asana is gone, something happens to our physical bodies, we can still practice because we can still breathe if we are alive. And we can still understand the deeper layers that are behind the asana. So what is sports? Sports is mostly moving, and sports is very competitive. Sports is going to your full potential, and that's great. For example, in Germany now, the German soccer players are practicing yoga. Beyond their training, their intense training as soccer, they also practice yoga because they understand that yoga helps them calm their minds, and when their minds are calm, they can strategize better in the field, and they can also balance all that muscular energy that happens when they're playing, and it can also relax their muscles and make them more flexible. Yoga is the union between flexibility and strength. And the point where those two meet, that's where yoga happens. I used to be very flexible since I was very small, but I lacked strength. And this would show up in my life because I could not set healthy boundaries with people. I was super shy and I could never say no. I remember my sister when we were like in high school, and all these, boys were coming to her and you want to go out with us, and you want to go out, and she would say no, and she would just say no, just a simple no. For me, this was a huge teaching because I could have never done that. I would go out with the boy that I didn't like that much, but I would go out with him so he didn't feel hurt. I was not the type that was very assertive. So this flexibility in my body was actually affecting my life because I could not set proper healthy boundaries. And I think in my whole life has been one of my most important lessons that yoga has taught me. How to say yes and when to say no, and how to be at peace when you say no. That's a very important practice for mostly for us women. We have all been trained to say yes, to say please, to be the nice little quiet girl. And no, the energy of the 21st century female is more passionate, is more into what she really needs to do. And yeah, I run 2 marathons. I was in this mood of running, and I really enjoyed running. It was amazing. And I actually started doing it because my hips were way too flexible and I needed some type of muscular workout. And yeah, I found a lot of connection in the running, but ultimately Ashtanga won. Ashtanga won the prize because it's what I love, and I feel so calm and energized at the same time when I practice. So maybe for me, in my experience, sports would give me a lot of energy, but would make me hyper. My Ashtanga practice gives me a lot of energy, focuses my mind through the breath, focuses my intention for the day, or for the year, or for whatever, but also creates this potential of, of information that I can access, and that in my mind, in the sportsmanship and the discipline and the jumping and I was not really present. I was doing all the ping, 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 but I was not connected to my body. It was like my body was moving out there. In yoga, the aim is to inhabit your body and to thank God for these arms and hands and head and neck and everything that's there, just the way it is. And for us women, that's why I think it's a very healing practice, because in sportsmen maybe there's competition, or there's some type of measurement, or how you should perform. Also like in dance, how you should look, you should weigh a certain amount of pounds. If you go beyond a little bit, then you're fat. And no, in yoga is a very accepting practice. I have seen beautiful women with a lot of curves and amazing bandhas, and that for me was magical. And it's not about being thin it's about knowing your body and using your body in a very skillful way. That is yoga. There's of course no competition in yoga. We don't compare ourselves with anyone, even though now with all these Instagram posts, it's inevitable to say, oh my God, my pastor doesn't look like that, and what am I gonna do now? Or I am aging, or I am going through these changes, pregnancy, or I'm like, whatever, I had an accident. No, yoga is not supposed to look anyway. Yoga is just a healing practice for our minds. So we can perceive this body as the temple of our soul. So we can thank existence every day for being alive. Actually, getting a soul spiritually is a very huge gift as spirits. Not everyone gets a soul, and when we get a body, and when we get a body, this is our instrument to go into life and explore and feel and understand and realize many things that we maybe don't want anymore, and then choose differently. So yoga is the path of awareness. Yoga is the path of self-realization eventually. Yoga is not about performing anything. It's not a performance. Sometimes I hear about these practitioners that come to my school here in India, and they wake up like 2 hours earlier to do their stretching and, you know, prepare their back bends, and like, I never do that. I go straight to my teacher, and that day I do the best I can. And the days usually when I feel I'm not going to be able to do anything, that's the day the magic happens. So yoga is always there to surprise us, because yoga is a spiritual practice. It's the way we tell the universe that we are here, and I don't know what you want from me, but I'm here. I'm ready to listen, and I'm ready to receive. Whatever you want to give me, whatever you want to take away from my life, I say yes. Yoga is a sadhana. It's the way to understand why we are here in this world. Yoga is about observing our own thoughts. And of course, in yoga, we need a teacher. We need a guru. Yeah, like in sports, you know, you need a coach. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to like make it to the cricket finals or go into your soccer team. But in yoga, it's different. The relationship with our teacher is a relationship that is based on spiritual research. We want to go deeper into the dimensions of our being in many, many ways. And we need someone to guide us, because usually it's the mind that is full of delusion or is full of veils, and we cannot see clearly. And whatever yoga brings into our life, we're going to be able to enjoy. In the daily relationships, in our career, in our creativity, in our profession, wherever we are, yoga is a practice that prepares us for life. Yoga is actually a way of understanding why we are born, why we are alive, and what's the purpose of this life. So yoga has a spiritual background, and yes, some athletes are actually looking for that, which is super beautiful, because ultimately we are all looking for true happiness. We are looking for inner peace. We want to be more at ease with life and more relaxed. And of course, in very good health, in a flexible and strong body, with a calm mind. Thank you so much for your questions. Namaste.